Okay, well, I was born in Sudbury, Ontario. My father's a miner, my mother is a school teacher. My parents separated when I was quite young, so I grew up mostly with my mother. My father eventually moved from Sudbury to Calgary and started a construction business. And when my last year of high school, I moved out to Calgary to join him and finish high school. And so went to Grandin, long enough to play one season on the football team, and then I moved to Strathmore where I graduated from high school. Then went to University of Calgary after taking a bit of a break between school, and did a degree, a double major in economics and political science. Followed that by taking a job. I thought I was going to go to law school, but I got an offer to work as executive assistant to the provincial treasurer of Alberta. So then I went up to Edmonton and spent 4 years under the dome, as they say, working in the legislature and working with managing information flows between caucus and cabinet and departments and legislatures, budget process. Then after that, I went back to do my MBA. Ivy School in London, Ontario, and then eventually ended up in Argentina, where I became a economist and equity analyst, initially responsible for conglomerates. And at that time, Argentina was coming out of its period of dictatorship and was opening up its economy, so there's privatizations of the energy sector that was going on and other sectors. So I got to participate in that and did that for a few years, and eventually became the oil and gas analyst for Latin America. Did that for a while and then got moved to a different bank and moved to Brazil, where I continued my role as equity analyst for Latin America and became head of the economics and equity research department at the bank in Brazil. And did that for a few years. Lots of interesting projects, worked on a lot of major financings, and including the largest public offering in the history of Latin America for Petrobras. That led to me eventually moving to New York, where I became an equity analyst for U.S. oil and gas majors. Did that for a while, and then eventually transferred to London, where I took over as equity analyst for emerging market oil and gas, and then eventually to European oil majors. So a big long career analyzing both the specific finances and valuations for companies in the oil and gas sector, but also understanding global oil and gas markets and working with a global oil and gas team and the geopolitics of what's going on, including forecasting energy demands around the world and supply. Eventually I decided, my son was born, and we decided that we did not want him to be the son of a father who was flying around all over the place, and we wanted him to be raised in Canada, in Calgary. So we came back to Calgary, and I started a small technology company involved in the oil and gas sector. Ran that for several years. The company was involved in trying to increase the efficiencies on thermal oil and gas wells, including the oil sands. So we're looking at trying to reduce CO2 emissions in the oil sands projects. So ran that for a long time, and then sold it, and now I'm CFO of another technology company in the oil and gas sector.